You ready?
Yeah.
You ever seen High School Musical? Yeah, I get that from there. Had to warm the throat up a little bit. Get a little water. All right, I'm ready. What up? You tuning in and talking nonsense. It's your boy Amari. I'm here with my co-host Christian Phillips, and this is season 2, episode 2. I don't want to start off the episode by giving a shout out to our third host who is still in quarantine. Jace, man, you know we love you. You know we're hoping for you to get better. You know, you got anything to say to Jace?
Come back soon. We need the content. Get well and stay safe.
Yep, man, get well, man. Can't wait to have you back. You know, we got to start off with the random fact of the day. And our random fact of season 2, episode 2 is Billy goats urinate on their own heads to smell more attractive to females. They be down there using the bathroom on their own head. Like, oh, she gonna like this one, right? like it's the perfect batch of cologne. The description says billy goats or goats or bucks is the name given to male goats. Generally urinate on themselves in late summer through fall. For humans, it's not pleasant at all. Well, I'm not a big animal guy, but I know I won't be going to see no billy goats in the late summer through the fall because they obviously trying to put their Sunday's best on for the other female goats, and my nose is not pleasant to that. First thing first, or second things second. Kansas City Chiefs play tonight. Houston Texans, 2 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, and they're black, by the way. You know, just a little shout out. We ain't always got those big paydays, so this is definitely monumental. Who you got tonight?
Texans. Chiefs start.
You just going against the grain?
Just like we talking about before the show. Chiefs start their losing streak today, so Deshaun Watson's gonna have a big night.
As much as I hate the Chiefs, I will say I think tonight is gonna be like a stepping stone for Deshaun Watson, like taking that first step without DeAndre Hopkins there to be his safety net, like the guy you can just throw the ball up to when it gets hard. And I think it's going to be a hard adjustment. So I think he'll need a couple weeks to really get in his rhythm. And I think Patrick Mahomes and his guys are just going to roll and roll and roll. And I want to cry saying that, but I really think the Chiefs are just going to roll tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it can go either way. Little season hype. I just don't buy it. They're still young. Patrick Mahomes still has a lot to prove. I mean, it's great that they had a Super Bowl last season, but you still have to look that most of that playoff run they were down.
That makes it even worse. They were down 24 one game. What were they down? 2 touchdowns versus the Titans. They were down 10 in the Super Bowl. That makes the run all the more impressive. It does. I'm not. It was like they were playing with people like, all right, we're gonna let you do this, and then we're gonna show you what we can do. And like, it wasn't just the offense coming back; it was the defense going out and getting stopped.
I'm not saying that it was not impressive, but you can't continuously win like that in the NFL.
They can.
No.
With the weapons they have?
Defenses, they always adjust. They're going to find out how to stop Patrick Mahomes, how to keep Tyreek Hill from getting behind them.
All right. Hold on.
Right. It's going to be a rough season for the Chiefs to continue to do what they're doing on offense.
All right, give me some answers right here, right? Tyreek Hill been doing it for 3 years. They haven't found an answer yet. They haven't. This is about to be his 4th year with the Chiefs. And no defense has found an answer for him yet. The Patriots did that one in the NFC Championship. I mean the AFC Championship the year that they beat the Chiefs when they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. But you can't afford to do that every game with him because you're just gonna open up more of the offense. Like you seen even in the second half with what Mahomes did in that AFC Championship game, what he's capable of. Like if you want to put two people on Tyreek Hill, if you want to delegate people towards him, and my O-line is still this good, I'm just gonna pick it. I'm gonna pick on somebody else.
Yeah, and I'm a little biased saying this stuff. I'm a huge Denver fan, so I naturally hate the Chiefs, but I don't think they're gonna have as good. I don't think their offense is going to be as good as this year.
I say the same thing.
It's a little overhyped.
About the Chiefs too, but I'm tired of being proven wrong by Patrick Mahomes. So I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm sold. But I got a question for you. What are 3 things that you feel like your Denver Broncos can do to get over the hump against the Chiefs? Because they just been beating y'all and y'all ain't beating them in like 3 years.
For the last couple of seasons. One, it's the offense. Offense has been stagnant. I don't think we've had offense since Peyton Manning has been there, and their offense wasn't even good. And their offense wasn't even good when they won Super Bowl 50. So their defense just took a huge hit with Von Miller going out with the lower leg injury. It's going to have to be a mixture of Drew Lock getting that offense started with those young wide receivers. Obviously, Phillip Lindsay is going to have to run the ball. And our offensive line is a huge Achilles heel. We can't run the ball. I mean, the first step of having an explosive offense is being able to run the ball. And if you
y'all got Melvin Gordon now, don't y'all?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you can't open up that offense, I mean, nothing's going to go vertical. So
y'all did get the best receiver in the draft, so hopefully
second best. So we'll see what he can do.
Y'all got the best receiver in the draft, so hopefully he can open it up.
Yeah,
sometimes that's all it takes. Y'all got 3 good receivers in my opinion, because KJ Hamler is pretty good. A pretty good guy for the slot, and y'all got big body Cortland Sutton.
I was surprised they drafted Hamler. Because didn't they drafted 2 wide receivers back to back, didn't they?
KJ was in the second round.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I thought they were gonna go more O-line pieces, but
I think I see what they're getting at.
Everybody's trying to imitate the Chiefs. They want all that vertical.
But the Chiefs do have an offensive line though.
Yeah.
Like they can't discount that. Like the Chiefs have a full team.
One thing I will never rely on is the Chiefs defense. Never. Why? I wouldn't even say they're adequate for half the season.
No, they definitely turn me down a little bit. I'm peeking. They definitely got better as the season went, but that's because they had new leaders on that defense. Like they had new guys running the defense. Once those guys got rolling, they were like a whole different machine. And they were firing on all cylinders, and they brought the whole team back. Mm-hmm. And they found a way to pay everybody that needed to be paid, and I don't get it. I feel like they're cheating or something. They got a cheat code to the game or something.
We'll see.
Lakers Rockets, how you feel about the series? You think the Lakers wrap it up tonight?
Lakers only up 2-1, aren't they?
3-1, I'm pretty sure.
No, they're 2-1. I think they have Game 4 coming up.
It could be 2-1.
Yeah, because Rockets took Game 1, and then Lakers just took the last 2. So
true.
I think the Rockets take Game 4. I think Russell's going to get things going. James Harden's kind of been struggling from beyond the arc. You kind of wonder how long that's going to last. But, I mean, right now, if it's anything like Game 2 and 3, I mean, Lakers are going to close them out in 5. So
that's tough. It's Lake Show all the way over here, so I can see LeBron and AD going off with a cool 28 and 32 apiece. Either way you flip it, one of them have 28, one of them have 32 plus.
I think my biggest thing, everybody's talking about size. PJ Tucker can only do so much on AD. I mean, he did a fantastic job Game 1.
People knew that when they traded Clint Capella. They knew like the type. People didn't even expect the Rockets to be this good, but only because like they stacked the odds against themselves.
I mean, they got so-called shooters, but I mean that goes away during the playoffs. I mean, they have to knock down shots. Russell cannot go 2 from 11. Entering the fourth. That's not going to win you a ball game against the Lakers.
Moving on to our next subject, we're gonna segue in the middle. It's Suicide Prevention Day, and I just want to say to anybody that's battling with suicidal thoughts, have attempted to commit suicide, like, you're not alone. We love you and we care about you, and there is always hope. It's never the end. You can call or text 1-800-273-8255, or you can text 741-741 and you can get help. You can, if you're a FHSU student and you're listening to this, you can just head right to the Kelly Center. You'll get the help you need. Or if you need to talk to me, you can hit me up. My email is a_Angram, ANGRAM@mail.fhsu.edu, and I'll help you out. But you're never alone, man. Never think you are. Never think you're a burden.
Yeah, always speak out. Don't think that, nobody's there for you. Like Amari said, there's a whole bunch of resources that you can reach out to. So, we're here. People in this building are willing to talk to you. So, if you're battling anything, just come talk to us and we'll help you out.
Okay. Next order of business. You want to go Trump or do you want to go Netflix first? You let me know.
I think they got to hear the Trump video.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, people, Donald Trump is once again trending on Twitter. And the hashtag today was Trump lied, Americans died. And the hashtag came from basically Trump did a series of interviews with Robert Woodward. And in these interviews, everything that he tweeted or said about the coronavirus, it was the completely opposite of what he said in this interview. That is on tape. And we will let you listen to it right here.
You just breathe the air. That's how it's passed.
And so what was President Xi saying yesterday?
Well, we were talking mostly about the virus, and I think he's going to have it in good shape, but it's a very tricky situation.
Indeed,
it goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. The touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. People don't realize we lose 25,000, 30,000 people a year here. Who would ever think that, right?
I know. It's
pretty amazing. And then I say, well, is that the same thing?
This
is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
Okay. You want to go first?
Yeah. I don't like to get political.
This isn't isn't like political. We're not talking about like your stance on politics. We're not talking about who you're voting for.
It's just when you listen to that, he sounds uneducated.
Ignorant.
The things that come out of his mouth, and you can prove it that his followers will just make an excuse for what he just said on that. He downplayed COVID-19. And,
to all of us.
Yeah, and there will just be excuse after an excuse. Oh, well, he did this to protect us.
People
how
died.
And he gets away. I have never seen somebody in today's politics get away with so much.
You know what's crazy? I bet if Trump would have came out and he would have mandated the mask stuff himself, and because we all know how a bunch of his supporters were like it was unconstitutional to make them wear a mask. That was about a week ago.
They were rewriting the Constitution to what that meant. So.
I bet they would have jumped to go get masks if Trump came out and approached this COVID-19 situation with the seriousness that he had in his voice during this interview, not the foolish and the goofy tone that he tweets with or he talks with on the news,
and basically labeling it as like a political ploy to get him out of office. And that's what was so damaging. His followers, saw that he was downplaying it, and so of course somebody's going to say, "Oh, it's unconstitutional to make me wear a mask."
Yeah, and then like you said, it was a political ploy. Like he was saying, "Oh, the Democrats wants this publicized this way, so they can think, so you can think I'm messing up. Like, no, dude, you're messing up. And like, the crazy thing is, you know you're messing up. You literally said on tape that this was deadly, and then you came out on Twitter and said it wasn't deadly, and like he compared it to the flu on Twitter. I remember it. He compared it to the flu on Twitter, saying it's no worse than the flu. People die from the flu, but you on the tape, he said it's way worse than than your strenuous flus, right? And he said we lose 25 to 30,000 people a year from the flu, and we've tripled that with Corona, and he knows it.
Yeah, I mean, I always wonder, you know, how things would be different if he just kind of stepped up and mandated the mask. But I mean, I also think about, well, if he did that, were the Democrats going to say, oh, this wasn't, you know, that serious, we don't need to do this? So I mean, it's always that question in the back of my mind. But
politics is definitely shady, but I feel like the fact that the president that is already in doing stuff like that is just all the more. The thing is, it makes it worse. The thing is,
we got to stop listening to politics about health issues. The CDC said we should have wore a mask. So I mean, I'm going to wear a mask.
But Trump was like, so that's the thing though. Trump and his supporters are very powerful. That's why I feel like he's going to get reelected no matter what, because his supporters are like sheep. Like they're kind of stupid sometimes. Like not stupid, they're ignorant. And I'm not talking about the ones that only support him because like they might get a financial gain from supporting him. I'm talking about the ones that really believe in what he says and they back everything he says. I'm talking about the wall supporters, the people like that thought that putting a wall on a piece of the border was going to stop people from coming in. Like the people that are radical like that, they really believe this man and they follow him. So when Trump said the CDC was wrong, the CDC was lying, they got on Twitter and they ran with it.
And what just baffles me is people don't listen to professional opinions. A politician is not a professional opinion on COVID-19.
This dude's not even a politician when you think about it.
Yeah, he's a businessman. So why would you listen to a businessman about COVID-19 on how serious it is and, oh, they're lying? It'd be like me going into an ER room, or, I mean, even just a hospital and telling a doctor, oh, your diagnosis to this person is wrong. I have absolutely no background in that. I am not a professional, and I wouldn't expect anybody to listen to my opinion on something medical.
It's just not my place. But you know, Trump he kind of reminds me of Adolf a little bit. He wants full control, full power. He wants to control who's here and who's not. So, like,
and that's completely reasonable to think that. I mean,
the type of narcissistic behavior that he displays is just unremarkable. It's crazy.
And I know, I mean, this town's undoubtedly, you know, largely Republican, but it's crazy how people can listen to a tape of him say something and be like, oh, that's not what he meant.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's just
like, even
how
about the girl, even before he got elected, when the tape, the locker room talk came out and he was talking about what he does to the girls or whatever. Like he just grabbed her or whatever. Like they listened to that and it was like, oh, it's nothing. Like
who everybody's done that. Like I've seen people on Facebook. Oh, everybody's done that. No,
no, not at all.
I don't know who this everybody is or.
and then like, or you see him on pictures with the kids with Epstein and stuff like that, and you get all these reports about like all the people, all the families and kids that he's paid off, like to get it thrown under the rug, and like they just erase it from their mind and go back to make America great again. Like,
yeah, and let me bring something up. On Twitter and Facebook, I see a lot of Trump fans. They're like, oh, I like Trump because he's a businessman. You know, he's not your typical politician. You know, he speaks his mind. That may be true, but then they followed up with, oh, he's a good Christian. So what does religion have to do with electing somebody in a political position?
Would a good Christian have people detained in ICE in fences in camp in like? They're not concentration camps yet, but have those people fenced in gates and camps and stuff.
I mean, he publicly humiliated somebody with a disability during one of his rallies. He demeans women and they have the audacity to call him a good Christian. I mean, let's just call it as it is. He's not a religious man whatsoever. I mean,
he's not a good Christian, let alone a good person.
Yeah.
Like, he's great businessman, don't get me wrong. Like, and I always tell people, like, I respect what little work he's done for the economy, and like, I respect people when they talk about how the stock market is so much better with him in right now. But like, that's not helping that's not helping most of the country. Like, that's what people have to realize. Like, most of the country is not benefiting from that. Most of the country is benefiting from is not benefiting from him being stupid. Like, they're hurting.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what is kind of crazy to think about too. Everybody's like, well, Trump doesn't like lazy people. And I see people like this, on media sites comment, well, if you just worked and, you didn't want to live off the government, then maybe you would like Trump too. One, most of these people, I don't get that excuse. Oh, if you don't live off the government. I have made these comments and somebody has said that to me. I'm like, one, I don't live off the government. I don't benefit from Donald Trump's, tax laws and all that. And neither do a majority of the Americans, like you said. We don't benefit from that. If you are not a millionaire, you don't benefit from him running for office.
If you're not like already solidified with money, he's not helping you take the next step. Like, and also, let's get back on, we were talking about his stupidity with coronavirus. How do you feel about this pandemic been going on since March and only $1,200 has been sent down? I know there's the second stimulus bill is being worked in right now, but like, still another $1,200, that's $2,400 over since March. That's 6 months. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not looking for a handout, and I'm never gonna be like, oh, give me free money. But at the same time, when the students were let go, I only got a percentage of my paycheck. Mm-hmm. So I lost out on money, and when they sent that $1,200, I'm like, yeah, this is going to help for a little bit. But if you think about it, I still had rent, I had a car payment, car insurance, I had food, and I tried to get a job here in Hayes during the pandemic, and anything that was worth applying for that was not paying minimum wage to where I could actually live off of and pay my expenses, just were not hiring because of the pandemic. So what does the government expect you to do at that point? Just a $1,200 to get you through what would be going on 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months. In September, we started quarantining in March.
And this is both sides. Both sides are to blame for this, Republicans and Democrats, because they're trying to fit things into this relief fund, and like, oh, people want, health care funding and stuff like that. People just need to look at it this way. The American people need assistance right now, and you need to set aside your own battles and your differences. I don't care about your health funding or the wall funding. I don't care about any of that. The American people didn't care about that 3 months ago. My thing about it is like you said, you're not always looking for a handout, but like, other countries have done so much more for their citizens. Yeah. Like, we're supposed to be the best country, and like, other countries have done far more for their citizens monthly. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like, all right, unemployment is doing good, right? But I work, right? Yeah. Or like you might work, but you might not get the same amount of hours that you were getting. Like, stuff like that. Like, other countries made it where it don't matter who you are, you're getting help because we understand what we're living in. Why not America? Yeah. And I mean, a question that still lingers is, what's going to happen during tax season at $1,200? Mm-hmm. I mean, how much are we going to, it's probably going to be like a couple $100 if they do come back and say, oh, you have to pay on this. But I thought they were just taking it out of the refund. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything about it. But if you don't get a refund, I can see it affecting it that way. But I mean, I know unemployment, like that $600 people got, that is going to be taxed if you didn't opt for it to have taxes taken out before it was deposited in your account. But I mean, I don't know. Another $1,200 would be good. I mean, everybody's kind of going back to work, but things are slowly closing down again. So we're kind of back at that same situation. That's the thing, right? You get the numbers. Everybody goes in the house. You get the numbers to stay at one point. You open back up, they shoot up again. Stuff closed down again. It's like it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing over and over again. It's happened like 2 or 3 times already in America.
in Florida alone, I know, like, honestly, where we live at, it's never really been shut down. It was shut down for a little bit, a month from in April, but as soon as we got into May, everything was back open, and it's been like wear a mask, social distance has been the same thing. Yeah, everywhere you go.
I think what kind of put this into perspective is when businesses here started to close down. I mean, I went to the Breathe Coffee House. I know Chicago closed their dining at one point, I think last week, or when school first started, when we had like over
all the cases were shooting up. I mean, I can understand that.
I mean, I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma multiple times during this pandemic, and I always saw people out doing stuff, so I really didn't see the impact of it. But when I saw business owners here in a small town, in northwestern Kansas started to close down, I'm like, okay, maybe this is a little bit more serious. Then I thought
McDonald's on 13th in Vine, they're open from like 8 to 3 now. And Wendy's, I know Wendy's was shut down they were shut down every other week because they didn't have staff. So like they would work a week, take a week off, work a week, take a week off. Like,
and that's all to blame for the college students, especially the ones that were well aware that they had COVID-19 symptoms or they knew that they were positive, and they went out and partied. I mean, what else do they expect? I mean, if I was a business owner here, I wouldn't stay open.
I mean, it depends. Obviously, it depends on like what type of business owner you are. Yeah. If you have the means, then you can shut it down. But if you don't have the means and you're dependent on those kids coming in and buying your food up.
Yeah, and I can totally understand that. But at the same time, you kind of have to look at it. Is the money worth, putting others at risk? I mean, I think that's what people were trying to say. This is the same thing with sports. Is a football season really worth the athletes having underlying conditions? I mean,
I don't know, man.
If you can close your business for 2 weeks, then you should. If you can't, that is completely understandable, but you can't complain about you potentially bringing COVID home because you knew the risks at that point.
All right. Man, we're going to wrap it up on the COVID talk. We end that with Trump is an idiot. And I think we both can agree on that.
Yeah.
Next order of business. Cancel Netflix was trending on Twitter. And I wanted to know why. So I clicked the hashtag and it read, backlash over Sundance winner Cuties leads to a cancel Netflix push. Netflix has previously apologized for the marketing materials released for the film, which were criticized for sexualizing underage girls, but critics are now reviving their disapproval. Cuties, which drew critical acclaim and won a Direct and Jury Award at the Sundance Film Festival, tells the story of an 11-year-old Singalinese Muslim girl who joins a dance group and rapidly grows aware of her burgeoning femininity, upsetting her mother and her values in the process. The description under the trailer for the movie read, Amy, an 11-year-old girl, joins a group of dancers named the Cuties at school and rapidly grow aware of her burgeoning femininity.
Okay, so basically they want to shut down Netflix because they're glorifying pedophilia?
Basically, hold on, let me read this. Right, it's rated TVMA. A movie about an 11-year-old girl. It's rated TVMA, right? And it says, Parents Guide, sex and nudity, severe. Parental warning, during one of the many highly sexualized and erotic dance scenes that purposely exploit and objectify numerous scantily clad underage girls, one of the female child dancers lifted up her crop top to fully display her bare chest. This is lawfully defined as pedophilia and can be extremely distressing to many viewers. So a Twitter user made a list of all the bad scenes about the movie, and it says the first thing was 2 male security guards stop the girls, and one girl says, "But we're dancers. We're here to have a dance competition," and she proceeds to twerk for him, and he lets them go. All right, next scene. The 4 girls are practicing for the competition. The scene includes them repetitively holding and smacking each other's behinds while they twerk and pulling each other's clothing. Next scene. One girl takes a photo of her vagina and posts it online. These are 11-year-old girls. Next scene. A 5-year-old girl takes a turn at webcam porn. Next scene. A young girl tries to take a photo of a schoolboy's private area. And next scene. A girl takes a used condom and blows it up. These are 11-year-old girls. These are 6th graders.
I want to know who approved that.
Like,
how does that, just based off of those scenes, how does that get approved?
Like, I'm not even gonna go watch it. I just hope Netflix takes it down, erases it. Like, they need to throw away all that film. Like, who at Netflix was like, they will love this, put it out? Or are y'all that like low on content these days?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that.
And not even Netflix, Sundance. Yeah. How did they win an award? Like, come on, bro. What are we pushing these days? And even crazier, the parents let them be filmed doing that. Let them do it, let alone like.
Yeah, I mean, that's
what are we teaching?
Discussion. I mean, what parent would allow their kid to act like that on
what are we
film?
teaching,
I mean,
man?
I don't know.
Netflix, you definitely got some questions to answer. You got some loyal subscribers to answer to, because that ain't it. This ain't it at all.
Yeah, that's definitely not holding themselves to the highest moral ethics. You know, that's just wrong. There's just nothing else to say. That's just wrong.
It's sad, man. I got a 14-year-old sister, and I can't imagine her being put out like that. Like,
yeah,
it's sickening. It's terrifying. One, that people like actually watch it, which I'm not surprised with the world we live in. Like, the biggest celebrities these days are getting caught up in like sex trafficking stuff, child sex trafficking stuff. I'm really actually when I think about that, I'm not even surprised that Netflix approve of that, because I bet the CEO of Netflix was probably cool with it. I don't know this guy from a can of paint. I don't know if his name been called up in the Epstein stuff, but it seems to be like the people on the biggest platforms and the biggest seats at the table are like that, and it's sad. Like, if you think about it, like the names that are being brought up in the Epstein case, it's sad. Like the Clintons, the Trump.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly have not followed that stuff.
Like, and
so I don't know.
I haven't followed it close, but when headlines break, I definitely click. I get this stuff from Twitter, so you know I'm on Twitter a lot. If it's trending, I'll click on it. And like, who else? Or like when the judge who was put on the Epstein case, her son was killed like 4 days after receiving the case files. Like, that's fishy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they got something to hide, and these people are big, and we praise them, and we have them on the highest pedestals, but like, they're really sick. So I think we need to stop celebrity praising a little bit and make these people humble. And that's not just for the celebrities that participate in bad stuff like that. It's for all celebrities, because obviously they think they're above the law doing stuff like that, and that's not acceptable. And Netflix, y'all got to tighten up. And those young girls shouldn't be showed in that light, man. Kids are precious and beautiful. They shouldn't be showed in that negative light like that. It's ridiculous. But man, that's all I got for today. I really have to end it on that note. That note was that last thing was really hard to talk about. So
yeah, I mean, definitely, if all these things are true about, you know, all these celebrities being involved in like pedophilia cases, and we gotta step back as consumers and be like, you know, what can we do about this? And like you said, 11-year-old girl should not be sexualized for a movie
At all.
for any purpose.
At all.
So hopefully Netflix can get that fixed, taken down, and obviously they have a lot of apologizing to do
Yeah.
to their fans. So I mean, that's all I have, and I think we should just end it right there. So
Speaking of, before we end it, you remember when that J.P. Morgan ship was found on the coast with all those drugs? It was like over $100 million worth of drugs, and that case just disappeared. You remember that? See, that's the problem. I'm telling you right there. It's the people in high places doing the craziest stuff, man.
They pay people off, man. Come on.
But yeah, man, that's the end of it. This was Talking Nonsense, Season 2, Episode 2, man. Jace, get better. We can't wait to have you back in the studio with us, Christian.
Yeah, come back. Episode 3, we do a few things differently. So, see you next time.
That was Christian. This is Amari, and we're out.